is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my UNC Tar Heels football preview for 2016. Talking about a team that really broke out last year, 11-3 overall, 8-1 in conference, good for first in the Coastal Division, and an onside kick away from winning the ACC. So with all this success comes more hype for 2016. So let's go ahead and start with the first of my three key players. I'm going to start with Mitch Trubisky, taking over from Marquise Williams at quarterback. I don't think he's really going to miss a beat this year. Trubisky, I believe he's 40 for 47 in his time that he's been, or the time that he did get last 2 years, I guess. No interceptions either. So, anyway, like I said, I don't think they're gonna miss a single beat with Trubisky. He's a good dual threat quarterback. He's got decent arm strength and really fits a lot of the same role that Marquise Williams fit last year. So my second key player is the stud running back coming back for his junior year, Elijah Hood. They have a stacked stable of running backs. TJ Logan's a tremendous running back behind Elijah Hood, and they got Chris Francis and Tyson Williams behind them. Running game shouldn't be a problem. Passing game shouldn't be a problem. Not to mention their wide receivers they have this year: Matt Collins, Ryan Switzer, Jonathan Howard. A few other names to watch out for: Austin Prohl, and Jordan Fialto. So, getting into my third key player. And moving over to the defensive side of the ball, and this guy's going to be a real key for this year, and that's Nazir Jones. If you watched the Baylor game last year, the defensive line got absolutely ran for UNC. They didn't have that much depth, and the guys that were out there just seemed tired and just outworked. It's not just going to be up to Nazir Jones this year. He is one of the more talented players along this UNC defense, and I think he is the best player on the defensive line. DeJuan Drennan, again, another very talented player along the defensive line, is going to have to step up this year along with Mikey Bart playing opposite Drennan at defensive end. But again, it all kind of falls back on Nazir Jones. He is the best player along this defensive line. I think he sets the tone. So first of my two X factors is defensive improvement. This defense already saw improvement last year with Gene Chizik coming in, taking over as the defensive coordinator. They do lose some key players at linebacker, Shaquille Rashad being probably the most noteworthy of those guys lost. But they do have some new guys that I could see stepping up and taking over some big roles this year in a good way. Cason Collins, Andre Smith, two new faces that you're going to see at linebacker for UNC. In the secondary, Des Lawrence, MJ Stewart, Dominique Green are going to lead what should be a talented secondary. So get into my second X factor, and I'm going to say is living up to expectations. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem for UNC this year, but it has been a problem in the past. UNC tended to kind of just fall into mediocrity every single year that people had them as a sleeper. They have had a lot of talent in the past, but a lot of what happened last year can be chalked up to Marquise Williams. And let's say Elijah Hood has a down year, that could hurt this team also. More than anything, the defense. But most of all, as long as they can live up to expectations they have this year, I think they'll be fine. At least keep the coaching staff the way it is right now. So moving to my trap game for UNC, and I think it's going to be Duke. Now, this might sound a little bit weird because it's a huge rivalry and both teams probably going to be pretty good this year. But looking up and down their schedule, you call Miami a trap game, you call Virginia Tech or Pitt trap games, or Duke, or Georgia Tech. There's really 5 to choose from. I'm going to take Duke, though, because North Carolina's probably going to be a heavy favorite at that point in the year just because of the way they beat Duke last year. But I think Duke's going to come out with a chip on their shoulder this year. This is a Duke team that has beaten North Carolina in years past while both teams were good. So my biggest game for North Carolina isn't even a coastal opponent. It is the Florida State Seminoles. Florida State, a team this year that not only will be good, they are hungry for an ACC title. They came kind of close last year, lost by Clemson to 10. If they had won that game, they probably would have won the ACC. And who knows, UNC probably would have put up a good fight, though. But if Florida State's able to beat UNC, that kind of proves to themselves that they are, if expectations go the way that they're supposed to, then that proves to themselves that they can beat the Coastal Division, that as a whole, the Atlantic Division is probably better than the Coastal. And if the two teams do meet again in the ACC championship game, then it'll be a huge game the first time anyway. So, get into my record prediction for UNC. I think they're going to go 10-3. Or, excuse me, not 10-3, 10-4. It's going to be a somewhat similar season to last year. I think they're going to end up losing in the ACC championship again. In my mind, it's an extremely hard schedule for the first 5 games of the season. They don't really get any favors for what they're expected to do. I mean, James Madison, Illinois. Yeah. Illinois, I think, will be a pretty dramatically improved team this year. They start out with Georgia, obviously no easy test. They have to go down to the Georgia Dome, so it'll be more of a home game for Georgia than UNC. Then Pitt kicks off the ACC schedule at home. Obviously, Pitt's going to probably be pretty good this year with the return of James Conner. Then after that, they have to go play at Florida State. However, I do still think they will get out of the Coastal Division with only 1 loss this year, and then be able to at least go to the ACC championship game. Kind of end up similar to where they were last year. So that pretty much does it for my UNC football preview for 2016. I'll be coming back tomorrow with actually UNC's rival, NC State, and then we'll also have Utah on top as well. So that's pretty much it. See ya.